Sing me a song of a lass that is gone.
Hello and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name is Kaylee and today is Tuesday, which means it is Outlander Day. So every single Tuesday, I bring out a different Outlander related video because, well, we're into Outlander and I am obsessed with Outlander. So I recently discovered that about 5 years ago, there was a Outlander YouTube tag video created and it went fantastically well. There were so many amazing videos created and I'm going to list some of my favorite ones in the description box below. Go check them out. They were fantastic. Now, with this Outlander tag, it was more created to bring in different answers from different fandoms, if that makes sense. So it was like, if you could travel through the stones, what time period would you go through, which I suppose that's Outlander related, but also what magical power would you have, things like that. It was, you could answer it from different genres and it wasn't mainly about Outlander. And I absolutely enjoyed watching so many videos created for that tag. But I thought to myself, you know what? We've been 5 years and why not have an Outlander tag 2.0? With today's questions, that's exactly how I'm going to structure it. And hopefully I'll tag some of those amazing creators that did the first Outlander tag, and they might jump in and have another go and do the Outlander tag 2.0. Now, with this tag, I'm personally relating it more to the TV series, but I mean, you can answer this in any way, shape, or form that you want. So the first question I'm putting out there is, if you could be a friend of any side character in the Outlander series, who would it be? Now, even with this first question, I am already struggling because there are so many amazing side characters. I mean, there is Murtagh, there is Rupert, there is Angus, there is Master Raymond. I want to befriend all of them and pick their brains. But if I had to only pick one, I think I would pick Master Raymond because he seems to have time travel sort of sorted. He seems to know what's going on. And there's something about him that I'm so intrigued into. And I would be his friend that's like, so what were you doing yesterday? So what were you doing on Friday? Where were you in 1948? Like, if I was able to befriend him, I would pick his brain like there was no tomorrow. Now, question 2 is, what is your favourite song from any of the soundtracks? Now, if you are not aware, Outlander does bring out a different soundtrack per season, except for season 1 where 2 soundtracks were actually released, and it has the music that is featured throughout the TV series. For me personally, I have to go with Song 17 on Volume 2. Now, I'm going to butcher this. You know what? I get butchered. I don't get butchered. I get told off in the comments for butchering the words throughout this video. Not this video, throughout many videos that I put up. I'm terribly sorry. I always say Fraser. I get it. I'm sorry. I don't mean to butcher it, but if you don't think that I'm going to butcher this, there's something wrong. So I've even went over and grabbed my CD, and it is, what is it? Moksa. It is track 17 on this one. Track 17. I'll play a tiny snippet now. That's the song that I love. It is my all-time favorite. I love it. Fun fact, when we were in Europe, this soundtrack was released and we were traveling around Scotland and the UK and a few other places, and we had this soundtrack playing in our rent-a-car non-stop. It was so much fun and I have such great memories with this soundtrack. But yeah, that is my all-time favorite. Question number 3. If you could change the outcome of any storyline in the Outlander universe, which one would you change? But remember, there would always be a butterfly effect. So for me personally, I would have loved to have seen Dougal go into the Battle of Culloden and seen how much of a difference having such a warrior like Dougal battling in the main battle would have been. So if he had survived and not been killed previously, I don't think the Battle of Culloden would have changed, but it would have made for some epic fight scenes. It would have been amazing to... You just never know. You just never know what could have happened if Dougal had participated in the Battle of Culloden. So for me personally, that's probably one of the only things I would change. And I know everyone's going to be like, well, why wouldn't you change some of the brutal sexual assault scenes? It's like, well, they make the characters who they are now, and without them, the butterfly effect of certain things, it just... I don't think we would have got the characters that we have now. And yeah, I don't, personally, I wouldn't want to risk mucking around with the storyline too much. But like, okay, Dougal goes into a big fight. Odds are he will die anyway, but I would get to see this epic battle scene. I hope that makes sense. Question number 4, if you could travel to the past, would you try and change it, or would you accept it as it was? Now, I personally would try to change it. I wouldn't go to the past in like preparation of personal gain, but if you could travel to the past and you could stop a war, or you could stop something that is greatly going to affect life in the future, then I probably would try to change things. I'm terribly worried about butterfly effects though. So imagine if you did successfully change something and then all of a sudden, poof, you're gone because you weren't born. But you would have to, wouldn't you? You couldn't live with yourself if you went back in time and you didn't attempt to help humanity. It would be, yeah, yes, I would change the past. Question number 5 is, what show have you watched simply because you knew someone from Outlander was in it? So for me, I was randomly do you know how the Netflix, they play the ads, or not Netflix, I can't remember what streaming service it was, but they play the ads, you know, previews of whatever when you haven't clicked on anything after a while, and Shetland came up, and I was like, I know him. Oh, okay, hang on. And I watched it and now I'm addicted. Shetland is such a fantastic series. If that is something, you know, that you do, you watch other shows because of characters or actors that are portraying in other shows that you like, definitely check out Shetland. It is fantastic. Question 6 is, what is your favourite season so far? Now, for me, season number 1 will forever be my favourite season. It sucked me in. It made me obsessed. I love that each season is different, and I mean, obviously I've read the book, so I know what's sort of coming roughly, but season number 1, always and forever, season number 1. Question number 7 is a villain you love to hate. Now, that has to be Black Jack Randall. I mean, he was such a vile, nasty, just piece of work, portrayed wonderfully by Tobias Menzies, but I loved to hate him. It is a series where you could not have the series without him, especially in the earlier seasons, obviously. But like, the way he is just evil. He is pure evil. And the fact that he came from Diana's brain, who then also created such wonderful characters, as in wonderfully based human characters, is amazing. How she can switch from pure evil to lovely is just fantastic. It's crazily amazing. But for me, Black Jack Randall, I love to hate him. But without him, like, I just couldn't see Outlander without him. He was just that good at being evil. Question number 8 is your favourite Claire costume. Now, for me personally, the purple robe. I'm going to insert a picture because I can't even describe it. But this costume absolutely blew my mind. The colours, just the way it's worn. And I mean, it doesn't get much airtime, but it is just fantastic. Absolutely perfect. Question number 9 is, what is your favourite Jamie scene so far released? I mean, there are going to be some amazing scenes coming up in the new season. If you have not read the books, I highly suggest you either jump on board and read them, so you have there's going to be some good ones. But for what we've already had, I mean, I'm back to season 1. The whole I'll throw you over my shoulder, that scene is iconic for fans. I absolutely love it. There are so many scenes, though, for Jamie that are just fantastic. But that one always jumps back into my mind every single time. Question number 10 is, if you could be an extra in any of the Outlander scenes, what scene would you want to be a part of? Now, for me personally, I mean, there's so many scenes, but I would love to be an extra at the Battle of Culloden, and just to watch that whole scene play out and to be able to imagine it happening and to see the different aspects would be astronomical. But I'd also love to be part of the weddings. I mean, come on. That's so cool. Fun fact, if you didn't know, Diana actually is a cameo, or has a cameo in one of the episodes in season 1. I believe it's in season 1. And I just think to myself, that's fantastic too. Absolutely. If I was her, if I created a magical universe and had this fantastic, like, opportunity where my writings became TV and movies or anything like that, I would most certainly document that I will be in a scene at some point to pinpoint, yes, look, there's me, this is the world I created, they're people from my mind, those characters over there I thought of, yep, here I am right in my real life version of my mind. How amazing would that be? But for me personally, yeah, I think Culloden. I think if I could say, hi, could I please just stand there and hold a gun and pretend to be able to fight, I would pick Culloden. Question number 11 is, what is your favourite version of the intro song? Now, you may not have actually picked this up, but every time a new season comes out, the intro song changes and is sort of entwined into where they are in the world or what's happening. I mean, I look forward to that every time. The very first episode of every season, I just gun for it. I'm like, oh, here we go. What's the song? And I will watch it and listen, and then I'll pause and then I really like that. Or for season 4, I really don't like that. I'm not a fan. But, you know, it's, you pick it and I just love it. I love it. It's something to look forward to that's not even show related. But my favourite one, again, I go back to season 1. I go to season 1 for everything for my favourites. But the very first intro, that sucked me in. I mean, it really, really sucked me in. The music for Outlander is just amazingly good. In fact, fun story, every time I fly, I'm a nervous flyer. I am horrendously bad. I'm that person that you sit away from because they just look nervous and you just think, oh, you're gonna be a bad flyer. I don't want to hear your whinging. I don't whinge, but I sit there, I put my Outlander playlist on, I start from season 1, and generally if we're going overseas, our flights from Australia are minimum 12 hours. So I sit there and I'm like, just Outlander, 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 and I try and have myself zened so that I don't hear the plane taking off, so I don't hear any sort of cabin noise. I don't want to hear any of it. I only want to hear Outlander, and I pump it up and I, for a good 12 hours, listen to the Outlander soundtrack. If you haven't listened to the Outlander soundtrack, please do yourself a favor. It's fantastic. So I'm going to list those 11 questions somewhere in the description box or the comment section down below if you scroll down. And you can either copy and paste them and put them in the comments or wherever you want. But I would love to know your answers. I genuinely love talking to you guys through the comments. It brightens up my day, especially because we're still in lockdown. Still another week. So it gives me something to do to talk to you guys, and the fact that I've had some comments that have been like, oh, you know, I don't have people to talk to. I will be here to talk to you about Outlander 24/7. Whenever you want to talk about Outlander, guys, and you don't have somebody that is as obsessed as you and I, drop it in a comment and we can chat anytime you would like. I hope you have enjoyed today's video, and I look forward to doing another video next Tuesday and talking with you guys then. Please have a great week, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!
Sing me a song of a lass that is gone.